Happy Friday, everybody. We are back at it with another fun video. This one is Christmas themed. That is correct. We are making this baddie right here today with our Christmas themed gingerbread dress inspired by this silky dress that I cannot afford. I'm going to show you how I made it, what patterns I used, and where I got my fabric. To start, we went to the fabric store. You all know that I love Meals End. I go here all the time. The original Selkie dress is made with a silk satin, so it's definitely a fabric that is perfect for that style. It's got a little bit of body, a little bit of drape, and for all the lace trim that we were adding to it, we definitely wanted something that had a little more structure than chiffon, and a little bit more structure than organza. I settled on this Shantang, which was over in the silk section, and it was like $4 a yard, so I got 10 yards of it, which was, spoiler alert,
way too much.
And then I went over into the trims and I found a ton of cute little lace trims. So I snatched it up. We're starting on our dress. The pattern we are using for this project is Gunner's Farfalla Bustier with a ton of modifications, but I can tell you in good faith, Gunner makes the best patterns. So this Farfalla pattern is great. It comes in sizes 32 through 00, A, B, D, and double D. Spoiler alert, I am not a double D, so I had to really finagle my cups to be the right size. You're gonna see me do a mock-up of this pattern after I've added a point to the front and dropped the waist down by about 2 inches because I am long-waisted. I cut it out of the main fabric and then I cut it out of a cotton lining. Then I got started and I started with the sleeves. Now the sleeve pattern is a free pattern from Mood Fabrics, and I'm using a chalk pen to mark out my little icing drips like you see on the roofs of gingerbread houses. And that's where I'm going to sew my lace down. To sew the lace down, it is a practice and patience because it took a long time. I think I spent more time sewing lace trims and decorative pieces onto this than I did actually sewing the whole thing together. So that's something to factor in. But the sleeves look really cute. I added a red ribbon and I thought I was going to be adding the red ribbon to the entire dress. Little did I know it would take me 500 years to put this in. So I nixed it on the butt. I nixed it anywhere else, but I may actually put it back in later. Digressing again. I sewed in using bias tape where I'm going to put in the elastic because I didn't want to add bulk with a sleeve lining. Sleeve linings are really important if you're looking to like add the volume without the puff at the bottom, but I am doing the puff at the bottom. So also this is for me and no one is gonna like pick up my sleeve and be like, you didn't line it. That's ridiculous. For the lining in the dress, I attached all of my boning to that. I'm using a sew-in boning on this because I need to be able to sit down and stand up. It was just something I prefer for a garment that I'm only going to be wearing for special occasions. I attached it to the lining and then attached the lining to the bodice. I made sure that I left a 1/2 inch on the top and the bottom so that it wouldn't bite into my waist and it wouldn't bite into the seams and it wouldn't be kind of goofy or funky or whatever. Sewed all of the trim on the outside, sewed those baddies together, and then I added the sleeves and I was like, oh, this fits wonky. Let's trust the process. Okay, the skirt. So in the original Selkie dress, you can see that the sides are like really high up, and I am not the biggest fan of this. That's just a personal preference. That is a lot of thigh to be showing for me. So I knew right away that I was gonna have a lower side on my skirt. So I'm doing 2 circle skirts. One was at 19 inches. Mind you, I am 5'10", so 19 inches was my mid-length. The top one was 14 inches. Taking into account the 3.5 inch rubber ducky lace, I knew this would be a perfect fit. So circle skirts are really, really easy. There are tons of tutorials on how to make a circle skirt. I went over to By Hand London, my circle skirt measurements there. It was a little bit tricky because my bodice goes up and down and isn't like a straight across waist. So I kind of guessed what number I would need. I was wrong. The first skirt I cut was way too big and I had to gather it down to match the second skirt. The second skirt was way too small, so I would definitely take the time to measure out the entire diameter of your garment. It worked out fine in the end. Then I marked out where that middle line of lace is going using, again, the chalk pencil and a 7-inch from the center. So I marked that out and then I went to sewing everything down. Now all this fabric is not stretch, so it's all done with a straight stitch on my machine. It used a ton of thread. I think I reloaded my bobbin like 5 or 6 times to get this right. So don't fear if it's like a lot of thread and you're like, Sarah, what did you get me into? That's what I got you into. But it turned out amazing. As you can see, it looks super, super cute. And I actually even made gingerbread shoes to go with it. And that is a short if you wanted to watch that. And I'm still wearing them as I'm talking now because they were so cute and comfortable. I'm obsessed. This is one of my favorite dresses I've ever made. So to recap the process, this dress took me 3 days to make, nonstop, about 12 hours a day. I
have no life outside of that.
I really like how it came out. It was, I want to say it was about 6 yards of fabric, maybe a little bit less. Most of the fabric was taken up in the sleeves. The skirt was really easy to do. The lace was easy to do. This was a really good way to practice straight line sewing because you really have to follow the lines on your pattern. I hope you guys enjoyed watching the process and me ramble about how I tried to make this. I promise you, when I do the next gingerbread item in November, the end of the month, there will be a giveaway for that item. Let me know what you guys are doing for Christmas this year. Do you celebrate Christmas? Do you celebrate the holidays? Until next time, I will talk to you later.